Now you're looking at a view from West LA. This is a camera that is showing the smoke and the flames in the background from the Franklin fire that broke out late last night. Is currently still burning in Malibu. And that's where we find our Parker Collins. He's on the ground for us right now in Malibu. So since we last saw you, Parker, what's really been the latest? How have conditions maybe changed?
Well, they've changed really quickly. So right now it kind of seems like the fire is moving away from where we are. You're going to have to kind of zoom in a little bit, Udale, on the ridge, but it looks like it's been moving down a little bit closer to the highway here and farther away from us. But you can even see the smoke. You'll still see some flames, but gosh, just a couple of minutes ago we were seeing a lot more of those flames, tons of embers being put up into the air. The smoke is very thick where we are. It's going to make breathing going to be a concern for the rest of the day as I try to get a handle on this as the wind continues to be a concern. Hey, Udale, can you swing over here too and show Udale, our photographer? So the fire has come really close down here to the highway, and I want to just show you. It might not look like much, but this is a palm tree that burst into flames not too long ago. It looked like it was out, and then it starts right back up again because of that wind really giving fuel to this. Even though there are some pretty dangerous conditions, there's a lot of risk over here. We've seen overhead some of those helicopters flying, trying to drop water on some of these flames, trying to tamp that down as best they can. We've seen some of the fire engines go up into the canyon, taking some of these really steep, winding roads to get as close to those fire front lines as they can. Again, we're down here on the highway. PCH is closed, but you'll see some of the traffic. A lot of it, it's firefighting related. A lot of it's personnel, but some of them are people trying to get out of here. We know there are mandatory evacuation orders in place. A lot of people are listening to that. But even though it is dark, you'll see coming across our lens, those flakes, I mean, that's ash kind of raining down on us. That's how intense this is. I mean, the smell is really overpowering. And you could smell it because of that wind miles away. You could see it too because of how high it is up on the ridge. But you'll see the dark night sky illuminated, early morning sky illuminated because of those flames here. It's working its way down, really spreading out because of how strong those winds are. This started late last night and then really just grew quickly, expanding hundreds of acres in just a matter of hours, putting so many, there are homes over here, there are plenty of businesses on both sides of PCH here, and then Pepperdine University canceling classes and finals today because of all the risk that this poses. As you kind of start to pan down this way again, you'll see some of those flames here, but that's really been the thing I've noticed is just how fast things can change moment to moment. And in those quick conversations I've had with people over here who live or they're working over here, they're saying, well, it looks safe now or it looks okay for the moment. Maybe I'll be okay to stay in place. But because it changes so fast that by the time it looks bad enough, that might just be too late, Sarah. I mean, we've seen this happen time and time again, and it only takes one small little ember there carried by the wind to start something fresh, to start something new because of how absolutely dry it is. Sally's been talking about that low humidity, just kind of the perfect conditions for something like this.
Yeah, I mean, these are really conditions that will just fuel the fire. And we spoke with Rick Crawford, who is the former LAFD Emergency Management Coordinator. He had mentioned that in the early morning hours, the winds may die down, but as the sun comes up and heats the ground, those winds really pick up. We know you've been there for hours. Are you finding that the winds have died down since when you first got there? What is it really like?
Well, I can definitely say that the wind will pick up and then it will die down and then pick up again. And interestingly, once the wind does pick up, when you feel kind of a gust coming at you, when you look to the hillside, you'll see the fire feels it as well, and you'll see those flames kind of shoot up to correspond with that wind. Yeah, right now it's not blowing very hard, but we know that it could pick up here very soon, and once it does, just helping that fire grow and grow and grow, and pushing around all that ash and that air. I mean, air quality, I know Sally's been talking about that a lot. That's going to be a huge theme, a huge concern as we go throughout the day.
Yeah, and we know how the smoke can really just travel with the winds, and so it's not just going to be that general area that will be impacted by the poor air quality. Parker, one last thing, though, I wanted to ask, because we know that students are sheltering in place at Pepperdine University. How far are you from the university?
We're not too far. I mean, we were on PCH before we hit a closure. We were talking to police, trying to find a safe place for us to go. So we're not too far from Pepperdine. I know they're in kind of a unique situation where they're able to shelter in place, but a lot of people where we are, that's just not an option. That's not what they're saying to do. They're saying there are mandatory evacuation orders for them. And again, the ashes and the embers kind of swirling over here. You'll see some of the firefighters moving in different directions. That's why they've got PCH closed so that they can move freely and get to where they need to go as quickly as possible. But a lot of people are taking those orders pretty seriously because they've lived through this. People who've lived here for any number of years, they've lived through wildfires before. They've seen kind of this devastation. They know what the plan has to be.
Yeah, that area is certainly prone. We know many different fires have ripped through that area. Thank you so much, Parker. We will be checking back with you all morning long.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.